Breaking news, your long nightmare is finally over. Beer sales are coming to Sanford Stadium. Now, if you are a fan of any team that is not named the Georgia Bulldogs, you don't understand what a big deal this is because you've probably been able to get beer at your stadium for years now. Georgia is one of the last teams in the SEC not to have beer sales in Sanford Stadium. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Georgia did not have room. They wanted to bring beer sales in the past few years, but the problem is you're in a very old stadium. Sanford Stadium is not a new facility. It's been around, almost 100 years, something like that. So it's been around a long time, and it was built in a different era and added on. The passageways are very narrow, so when you go to add beer into it, you have to have its own areas to sell beer, and the concourses weren't exactly wide enough. Now, the other part of that, people say, well, why not just sell beer where you sell hot dogs and Cokes and stuff like that? They couldn't have beer there because they bring in young kids, I say kids, high schools, come in and run the concession stands, and they get a huge cut of that day's take. So the concessions are not being run by 21 and up people. They're being run by 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old people. And, of course, some older people from the school are helping out as well. So a lot of schools in the area get a huge chunk of money by coming and running the concession sales at Georgia. And you can't have kids, 17-year-olds, selling Bud Light or, Amstel Light or whatever to an adult. So you had to have a separate area where you sold beer, and they just didn't have the room for it. But apparently beer sales are coming in the 2024 season. You will be able to buy beer there. Now, of course, it's limit 2 per person, and they're going to cut off beer sales in the third quarter. So it's not you won't be able to get a roadie to take it out, but you will be able to buy beer in Sanford Stadium. And we're going to have a story up at UGAsports.com about that very soon. Stay tuned.